Could you maybe speak to how you kind of position yourself within the market of a kind of competitive landscape and how that's changed over the years?
Yeah, I'll tell you where we position ourselves now. And if it's still interesting, I can walk you back to how we positioned ourselves at various times in the past. But right now, the way when we at the height of this category growing, maybe 2014, 2015, there were like 26 venture-backed companies in the fashion resale category. That over time has whittled down to really 4 or 5 that are at scale today. And so positioning ourselves in that world is a lot easier than when we had 26 competitors and there frankly wasn't a ton of differentiation between us except for who's going to execute and who's not. So at this point, there are two key ways to think about where we sit within the ecosystem. We focus on luxury and designer products. We think of it as high quality goods, those that can be resold or traded multiple times and still last for a really long time. So our average order value is close to $500, whereas the companies that play more in the mass market side of the category, like Poshmark and ThredUp, have closer to like a $50 to $80 average order value. So that's one distinction, is that we're decidedly on the luxury end. The other distinction is that we're pure peer-to-peer. And our largest competitor, the other luxury resale player in the category, is The RealReal, and they are 100% consignment. So they take and hold all of their inventory, merchandise, photograph, all of that. And we try not to touch product ever, and to facilitate the direct connection between buyers and sellers. And so one way that we can easily communicate who we are and what our value proposition is that we say we replace the human middleman in a marketplace with technology that covers some of the most important touch points between a buyer and a seller, such as trust and authentication, curation and merchandising, and peer-to-peer logistics. And we see a very straight shot to owning this category once we have perfected those 3 things. So authentication, which we think we've already perfected, curation and personalization, which is a long and hard problem, and peer-to-peer logistics, which frankly, I wish we were further along on. We're still figuring out a lot of those pieces. Once those things are solved, you can really imagine that in this category and in every category, peer-to-peer is going to be the primary model, because when you have automated technology that's scalable, you can afford to charge the seller a lower fee, which means that they can afford to price their items more competitively. And then buyers always pay the lowest price, sellers always make the most money. And naturally, consumers shift over to the peer-to-peer platform because it's delivering more value. So our thesis on our category, and I think a lot of categories with marketplaces, is that today, the quickest, shortest route to solving a lot of those challenges is to be a middleman. But over time, technology is going to completely replace the human middleman. And that's really the area that we focus on as a business, is building that technology.